Well, hey now, I thought I would come out here on our back deck because of the theme or the purpose of this particular video, which is Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up, and I decided to do 10 songs or moments in songs that I'm really grateful for. Now, a lot of you know, it's an exercise that people will suggest if you're feeling somewhat at wit's end or not feeling super good about things, is to do a grateful exercise. And I don't know if you've ever done that, but as cheesy as it sounds, it does basically help you to channel your mind into thinking about things that you love. This is, I think, really the essence of glass half full, glass half empty. And instead of focusing on the half empty, you're focusing on the half full. But I'm not going to sort of profess to really know a lot about this, but the exercise for me is a very powerful one, and also one that I try to live my life with. I'm not always successful, but to be grateful for things, to find the things that make being alive meaningful. And I think about music, and I think most of us here, if we're not just hardcore collectors, but we're here for the music, and music moves us, then you would know what I mean about moments in songs or particular songs. These aren't the best of or the greatest this or the greatest that. These are songs that, for me, move me tremendously. They just really hit home. And it was interesting compiling this because it could be a never-ending list. And there are lots of artists that I didn't put on here. You know, Bob Dylan, spoiler, is not on here, but he could be in another day, top of my list. And there is no order to this, but I simply sat down and thought of 10 songs or moments of songs that are and have been tremendously meaningful for me. Again, this will be in honor of the Canadian Thanksgiving, which is on Monday, October the 14th, I think. And I'm not going to call this a vinyl tag. I think many people probably, I don't know that I have enough influence in the vinyl community to encourage a vinyl tag. But if you're so inclined, and for those of you Americans who've got another month plus before your Thanksgiving, I would encourage that you maybe think a little bit about what songs or things have been really meaningful, music that's been really meaningful for you, and share that, because I think it's important to connect with this and not get lost in just the collecting part of it, and to reconnect with the actual love and enjoyment of the music. Okay, number one in this basically unranked videos of songs that I am extremely grateful for, that have left a deep impression on me and continue to do so. And this next one is an artist that completely cracked everything wide open for me. Everything was, after seeing him live, everything changed for me. And I know I've talked about this a lot, so I won't sort of go into long details about that, but Iggy and the Stooges. Now, the opening track is the one I want to talk about here, which is Down in the Street. The heaviness, the drum bass bottom end, and how this sounds, and then Ron Ashton layering the guitar over top, and then Iggy coming in with his growl and yelping like he's an animal. Down in the street, I found my one true love. It's like, and it is just so steeped in gritty, slimy, dirty, in the best sense of the word. I absolutely love this track. I could play this song over and over and over again every day of my life, and I truly would never get tired of it. David Bowie was asked on a talk show one time when he was helping Iggy promote The Idiot. And Dinah Shore, of all people, she asked David Bowie, what's the difference? You guys, have a lot in common, but what's the difference in your music? And Bowie said, well, I sing from up here, and James, meaning Iggy, sings from down here. And he basically, kind of framed the pelvic area. And I think that very accurately describes and why they were so good together, really. But this Down in the Street to me is just one of the greatest moments of rock and roll, and I'm so grateful that I found it and that it's been a part of my life ever since. Thank you, Iggy. Number 2 in this unranked list of songs, performances, and moments in music that I am truly grateful for. Probably a lot of the ones that I've chosen today, people will be familiar with. There won't be any big surprises. I'm just kind of highlighting the stuff that is particularly meaningful for me. But this one might not be something that everyone's familiar with. Mary Margaret O'Hara, Miss America. This was a big critical success. This is back in 1988. But don't think it really sold that well. She's the sister of Catherine O'Hara, the actress. And the song I'm choosing here is Year in Song. It's the second song on the first side. And this song, it's a beautiful song, but there is a moment in it where she seems to just completely lose herself in the song, in terms of just the way Patti Smith would, sometimes live would completely kind of be so immersed in the song. And she famously fell off a stage and broke her neck, I think, or something, because she's so lost in the music, like that total commitment and absorption in the music. So in this song, there's a part in the Year in Song where she's going, joy is the aim, and she's just doing these crazy vocal inflections, and then it's almost like she's speaking in tongues. She gets so caught up and excited in the performance. And I always, when I listen to this song, that particular moment when she does that is just glorious. I absolutely love it. So A Year in Song, Mary Margaret O'Hara off of Miss America. Super grateful for this particular track. Number 3. This is two songs that are almost always played together. I'm choosing the live performance of these two songs, and I don't actually have maybe a definitive live version of this pair of songs. I was lucky enough to hear them perform it at Sphere, but when I hear this, there are, there'll be deadheads out there who will be able to pick the version that they think is best, but of course that's very subjective. But what I'm talking about, and I'll just choose it off of this Without a Net, which is late 80s, early 90s, Grateful Dead, is China Cat Sunflower, I Know You Rider. And I'll tell you what, it's not just the songs themselves. China Cat Sunflower and I Know You Rider, for those that are very familiar with the band, they would just refer to it as China Rider because they usually are played together. China Cat Sunflower is a Grateful Dead composition. I'm assuming it was a Garcia. Robert Hunter, Jerry Garcia. And I Know You Rider is a traditional song, an old traditional song that was arranged by the Grateful Dead. But the part that I always get very excited by is towards the end of China Cat Sunflower, the themes, the motif of I Know You Rider start to creep in. And as many of you know, there's this beautiful segue where you're sort of in between those two worlds of China and Rider. And some of the I Know You Rider stuff comes in. And the lyrics that usually elicit a huge roar, a cheer from the crowd, is just simply, I know you rider, gonna miss me when I'm gone. And it's quite simple lyrically. I know you rider, gonna miss me when I'm gone. But what happens when they sing that and how the crowd responds to that is that moment that is so spectacular that I'm just so grateful to have experienced. And whenever I hear it in a live performance, and especially when it's like not necessarily a soundboard, but it's something that's sort of a hybrid soundboard audience recording, or they do sort of lean more towards the audience response, I like that even better. It's almost as though the music needn't be front and center. The audience needs to play a very important role in that recording. And there is a moment, so there's that part, which is the I Know You Rider, when everybody's just cheers. And then the other part where the crowd usually goes nuts is when Jerry Garcia says, I wish I were a headlight on a northbound train. I wish I were a headlight on a northbound train driving through the Colorado rain. And I don't know what it is. I love train songs, and but there's something about a person saying that they wish that they were a train just driving through the rain, and just that power and that, I don't know, freedom. This certainly defies analysis or explanation, but for me, I just lose my shit when I hear that stuff, and I'm so grateful for the Grateful Dead, but in particular those China Rider sequences. Oh my God, they're great. So this next one, number 4, is an artist whom, for me, has a very special place and is unique. And I suppose you could say that about all the artists that have performed some of the songs that I'm listing here in this video. But I had the good fortune of meeting him once in a parking lot in Seattle. And but there is something about the way this guy went about performing, writing, playing shows, how he related to his audience, and I'm talking about Mr. Joe Strummer. London Calling. When you went to a Clash show, everything was left on the stage. You know that cliche about leave it all out on the ice or leave it all out on the field? Strummer did that. He was always just drenched in sweat, completely spent at the end of a show. But, here's a guy who wasn't a particularly strong guitar player, wasn't a particularly strong singer, but his performances in either recorded music or live was made special by the sincerity of the performance. Everything, it's no wonder they said the only band that matters. I think Strummer was the reason that that the Clash was the only band that mattered. And I'll tell you, there was a time when that really was true. It wasn't just marketing speak. But it's really Strummer that made them special. Well, the whole band is special. I don't know, backtrack a little bit, but Strummer is the one. He's sort of the heart and soul of the band. I'm going to choose Brand New Cadillac. When this record came out, I got the English version, which is not this. I had to get another copy. 1979, December of 79, got the English copy, and I played this to death. And side 1, Brand New Cadillac, the beginning of that, drive, and the drum hitting a drive, my baby, and he's just yelling, his voice is cracking. My baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. I said, balls to you, baby, she ain't never coming back. The way that Strummer did everything was always full on. I actually have come to love what he's done with the Mescaleros over the years. I've talked about that on other videos as well. Once you kind of put the Clash and you bookend the Clash part of it and you move on to the Mescaleros, still Strummer, still fantastic. But Brand New Cadillac, God, I'm grateful for this record. I'm grateful for Brand New Cadillac, and I'm super grateful for Joe Strummer. Thanks, Joe. Number 5 in this unranked list of music or songs or moments that I'm tremendously grateful for comes off this record, the Kinks, Lola versus Power Man and the Money Go Round, 1970. And the song is the lead-off track off of side 2, This Time Tomorrow. Starts off with this jet engine, airplane engine, as the plane, I guess, is flying over the sky. And when you think about a title like This Time Tomorrow and a plane, and often those are accompanied by great anticipation, looking forward to what's coming. They often say that the trip is, half of the anticipation of the voyage, and the getting there is half the trip, right? So, not so with this song, I don't think, but opens up with a beautiful guitar bit after that plane, I'm assuming by Ray, and then Dave Davis comes in with some nice little finger picking acoustic on both of those, using acoustic guitar. But the line, leave the sun behind me, we watch the clouds as they sadly pass me by, and I'm in perpetual motion, and the world below doesn't matter much to me. I always say that the music and the tone and the feel of the music is what really, for me makes a song, or what really gravitates me towards the music. But that's not entirely true, of course. Great lyrics and how they are performed in the song together is what makes something really, truly special. And I feel that this song for me is a classic Kinks song, and one that always just really touched me very deeply, and I'm very grateful for this song. If you want to see how it can be incorporated into film and how cinematic this song can be, take a look at the Darjeeling Limited Wes Anderson film, and the intro using this particular track is just a beautiful match. Number 6, The Replacements. Can't tell you how grateful I am for this particular record, and in particular, the track I want to focus on is Unsatisfied. When I heard this record, and I heard in particular Paul Westerberg, who to me is one of the great singer-songwriters, really American singer-songwriters of all, his ability to kind of combine fuck you and I'm in pain in a very authentic way is unequaled in many ways, I think. Unsatisfied, when I heard this, to me, it was like lyrics that I had written myself at the time when I heard this. And look me in the eye and tell me that you're satisfied, unsatisfied. There's just complete authenticity. His voice is cracking, it's raspy. The band is playing with abandon. It's just got that right balance of high energy and kind of almost ballad. I am so grateful for this song, and luckily it doesn't speak to me to the same degree, but like great art, it taps into something, that feeling of being unsatisfied with your life, who you are, the choices you make, whatever the heck you want to call it, projection. But I'm so grateful for this song, Unsatisfied, off of Let It Be. So when I think about this band, there are so many songs that I love, mostly that just crack me up. And then there's also my sort of historical association with this band in terms of a long-standing band that's always been important to me. And in fact, I used to put a sticky note on my refrigerator that just said, "To do, play more Ramones." So the track that I want to talk about is off of Road to Ruin. I think this is their 4th record. This album to me was a perfect evolution for the band. You know, those first 3 records, the Ramones, Leave Home, and Rocket to Russia, rough, in your face, revolutionary, really. Vinyl Richie was talking about this, like unlike anything else. But this record, there was a kind of a level of production. Is this Ed Stasium? Who produced this? Yeah, Ed Stasium produced this, who interestingly has worked with the Replacements as well, and Tom Erdelli, so Tommy Ramone. But the track I want to talk about is I Just Want to Have Something to Do. That song for me was the launching off point for many nights for years, university and after university. It was kind of like the song I would play as an anthem before heading out the door. I just want to have something to do tonight. Well, all right. And the way that the guitars ring, they're just so locked in. It is so tight. It's got this dynamic thing that just goes right off of the record, and it can't help make you feel like you're just grinning ear to ear. And tonight's going to be a really great night. The Ramones, super grateful for the song I Just Want to Have Something to Do off of Road to Ruin. And now number 8. This one is not so much the recorded version of the song, although it's a great song, but it is the recorded version to me is a springboard to how I've experienced this song, and I've had tremendous, deep kind of connection, and that is how it's been performed. And it's off of Summer Teeth. This is the box set, Wilco, and the song is Via Chicago. And well, what can you say about a song that starts with the opening lines? I dreamed about killing you again last night, and it felt all right to me. Oh boy, that is some heavy opening line. But I don't profess to say I really know what the whole thing means, but there's a definite sense of what it's like to come home, of I guess being away, whether it's being away physically, you know, in terms of location, or being away emotionally, or whatever it is. But live, if you've ever had a chance to see Wilco, They perform this song, I think, quite often. I've seen them do it many times. And there's a part in the song where there is just a loud, like a cacophony, just a rumble, a thunder. It's kind of like everything is shaking to your core. You also imagine like it's like an earthquake. And then it just comes right down, and it's really quiet. And Tweety just says, searching for a home, searching for a home, searching for a home via Chicago. I'm coming home, I'm coming home via Chicago. And even as I say those lyrics, for whatever reason, there's, I guess, something about home for me. I'm not sure, but it gets me really choked up. And boy, when I hear that live, that is just, to me, one of those things that I'm just so grateful for and what music brings to my life. When I think about music that touches my, right into my soul in terms of, it makes me, everything sort of slow down and allows for, I guess, sort of melancholy and joy and everything to kind of stew in the background. I think of, Chet Baker is somebody like that on the trumpet and the things that he can do, especially in his ballads. And the other one that I think about a lot is Bill Evans. And on this record, Some Other Time was a song that, or is a song that I just, I almost never fail to tear up when I hear the song. But it isn't actually that version that is, to me, transcends and is the one that I'm most grateful for, and that is the one with Tony Bennett. And this particular version of Some Other Time, of course, with Tony Bennett singing the lyrics, there is something about the way that, and the lyrics, and also the way that this is performed, and Tony Bennett, which I find tremendously moving. There is a line in the song, oh well, we'll catch up some other time. And God knows how, but from my perspective, what's communicated is one person is saying to another, maybe a lover, it's okay, we'll see each other again some other time. And it's not going to happen. You could imagine this being on a deathbed. You could imagine it being at the end of a relationship, not one that you're done with, but one that you feel tremendous sadness over its ending. And the way that Tony Bennett sings it is just so full of emotion, but not maudlin. He sings it very straight, and it feels like it's a conversation. In fact, the lyrics are really a one-sided conversation, but tremendously moving. So Bill Evans with Tony Bennett and Some Other Time. This is the Tony Bennett, Bill Evans album. So grateful for that song and that performance. Number 10 tracks that I am most grateful for. And this one combines two artists that I absolutely love performing together, and it's a live recording. And this is my battered, bruised version of The Last Waltz, sample of some water damage. A lot of records were lost in the Great Flood, but this one survived, but very worse for wear. The song that I'm going to choose from this is the duet. I mean, you could say basically Neil Young singing Helpless with the band. And that moment in the film of Neil singing the song Helpless and Joni Mitchell appearing as a silhouette in the background and singing just these ethereal, beautiful backup vocals. Now, Helpless has always left me very moved. That song, and not unlike the Wilco song, via Chicago, I don't know what it is, but somehow this notion of home, and I think of the person who's performing it is trying to get home, or is trying to imagine their past. It's almost like Rosebud from Citizen Kane, trying to connect with their childhood or a time, a happier time, that kind of thing is how I feel. But I mean, I'm getting kind of too intellectual. It's the performance of the song Helpless. It's, first of all, as a Canadian, and this may sound a little, I don't know, getting carried away, but here we have Neil with the band, many of which, most of the members other than Levon Helm, I believe, are Canadian. and Joni Mitchell. So all these Canadian roots all playing together and singing about a town in North Ontario. All my changes were there. That performance during the last waltz, Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, and the band will eternally be a grateful song and a moment and a performance that is so memorable, and we were all so lucky to have that captured by Martin Scorsese and his team in the last waltz. And I could do this all day and all night and all day and all night and all day and all night, because there's an endless number of songs and moments in songs that I'm truly grateful for. But this is a female artist that I've been following for many, many years. She's very unique in her approach, always challenging. Her orchestrations, arrangements, and everything are truly spectacular. And I'm talking about Kate Bush. And most people, and myself included, when I think about high water marks for Kate Bush's material, it would be The Dreaming and Hounds of Love. But this is also a fantastic record, but the track I'm going to specifically focus on is The Fog. She's used fog before, I think The Morning Fog on Hounds of Love as well. But this is definitely a quintessential Kate Bush song. Starts off very quiet, childlike, literally. There's a voice of a man saying, "Put your feet down, dear, you're not a child anymore." And but there is a moment in the song, and it builds beautifully, where she goes, "If I let go of your hand, you slip into the fog." And there is a rising orchestration with beautiful, I don't know if it's violins or cellos coming in over top, but her ability to use music to create atmosphere, to create really a visual world. She was a master at that, and I shouldn't use past tense because she may still have some music that she wants to share with us, but just truly a master. And so many great songs, but The Fog is one from this record, which is a very good record. The Sensual World is one that I am truly, truly grateful for.